Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This is going to be your super easy to follow, no nonsense, Skull of NAN SAPWE retrieval guide. Let's go. If you come to this area to the right of the spawn, you'll find a large altar, a central altar if you like, with 4 skulls on it. Associated with each skull is a set of symbols. This skull, for example, I would refer to as the 1-1 skull. There are other skulls too, there are 4 in total. Another one of them might be the 3-2-1 skull, for example. And the reason this is important is because around the map, there are 4 smaller altars, and it's to those altars that you're going to bring these skulls, you're going to charge them up, and then you're going to bring them back to this central altar. I recommend the first altar that you do is the one in the spawn. So go over to it, look at the symbols on it. So in this case, I have the 3-2-1 symbols on my altar. So I'm going to go to the central altar. I'm going to pick up the 3-2-1 skull. I'm going to bring it back to that smaller altar in the spawn. I'm going to place the skull on it. In doing so, zombies will spawn out of little green portals, and they will try and attack the skull. You need to obviously defend yourself, that's obviously very important, but also defend the skull. If too many zombies manage to attack the skull, what will happen is you will fail, the skull will disappear, and you'll have to try again next round. The skull will then reappear in that next round back at the central altar. So you have to pick it up again, bring it to the smaller altar, and repeat the process until you get it right. By getting it right, what I mean is that the skull, when you activate the ritual, will float into the air, and when the ritual is complete, it will float down again. Then you've just got to bring it back to the central altar, place it in its original position, and rinse and repeat for the other 3 skulls. So the important thing for you right now, most likely, is just knowing where those altars are. If you enter the bunker and keep going forwards, past the Pack-a-Punch and through that central door, go down the spiral staircase, and in that room towards the back, there is another altar. So that can be your second location. At that particular one, be careful, because a Thrasher is going to spawn down there, potentially 2 Thrashers. So you've got to be really careful in that location. If you're having trouble doing this with your group in-game, what I recommend you try is having one person towards the back, really focusing on the altar, and then other players in your team further out, a little further away, so that those Thrashers don't get in the way of that person worrying about the altar. If you still can't do this and you're struggling with it still, then in the comments there will no doubt be plenty of helpful people with lots of good tips for you, and also you can reach me on Twitter if you still have any questions after the video. Another one of the locations is pretty much a straight line from that central altar. You're going to go towards Lab A and then take a left turn, and you'll find yourself in the room with all of the propeller traps, all of those. Same process as before, match your symbols to the symbols on the central altar, bring that correct skull over, charge it up, bring that skull back, and then you're done with that skull, you can move on to the next. Finally, if you're in the bunker going towards the PAP, you're going to want to take a left turn into the room with the power switch. Then, when you're in there, take another left, and that's going to lead you to the final altar. I want to just quickly say that you can do these in any order that you choose. You can fail as many times as you like, and obviously you'll have to go to a next round, but that is perfectly okay. You don't have to do this really early in your game. You can wait until you're set up if you feel so inclined. You may find that that is easier, and also, obviously, in this particular location, if you get in a sticky situation, the zipline is your friend. Once you finish that final skull, you should be able to bring it back to the central altar, and at this point, all of the 4 skulls will have glowing eyes, assuming you have completed the rituals for them. Then, what will happen is a tree will lift up that was previously blocking off the stairs to this little area where the skull itself of NAN SAPWE is located. If you go down there and you start this process alone, then you have to finish it alone. So bear that in mind. If you want to do this as a group, then everybody needs to come down into that room. And then what happens is you hold square on the skull in the middle of the room, and a load of keepers are going to spawn. These aren't the same keepers that we experienced in the Shadows of Evil rituals. They're a little different. You do need to kill them now, because their souls are going to charge the skull in the center of the room. This is going to take a little bit of time, but assuming you do it correctly, assuming you can survive down there and charge that central skull, eventually it's going to be completed. You'll be able to go over to the center of the room, hold square, and you've just successfully achieved and retrieved the skull of NAN SAPWE. I'll show you just a little bit of gameplay here of what the skull does, because in all of my guides for the Der Eisendrache bows and things like that, people were like, Milo, I want to see some gameplay, and so some gameplay I am bringing you. Hopefully you've enjoyed this guide, guys. It's been no nonsense, like always. If that's the thing that you enjoy, then leave a like, and I'll see you very soon, hopefully, in another Zetsubou No Shima guide or a story video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.